Hey there, loved ones. Welcome to week 10 of the Pride and Joy Predictions podcast, the series in which my friend and I, Steve, will get together every single week to discuss the latest happenings in the NFL and give our predictions for the following week as well.
Yeah. Even though we did slightly okay there, we feel our week was pretty much blah there for different reasons
Yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly. Week 9 was just kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of like run of the mill. Steve went 8-6, I went 10-4. That was pretty much the entire slate. Everybody went either 10-4, 9-5, or 8-6, with the
Mm-hmm.
exception of one player who went 7-7.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone was real mixed. There wasn't really a true winner of the week like I normally would review, but we do have new standings. So I will go ahead and slap those up. John is still in first, but I have shortened his lead to 3 games instead of 5. He has 89-45. I have 86-48. Almost read that as 43. Rev has 84-50. Beers has 83-51, as does Steve, and
Yeah.
SDS for that matter. Papa Agron has 80-54. Draz has 79-55. Alex Faye has 78-56. Buff is 77-57. Savage Owl, with his 7-7 record last week, is now at 75-59. And Troll is 53-81. I didn't say the ties this time because
Mm-hmm.
saying and one after every single one,
Yeah.
bleh.
Yeah. We all know we tied on the Packers Cowboys game
Yeah,
earlier this
exactly. And
week.
I
So
was I was so hoping that we would have another tie in week 9, but unfortunately the team decided to actually try to win, even though
mhm.
it didn't help them any. So we will talk about that in the honorable mentions. But first things first, we do have game of the week in our recap, which we unfortunately decided would be the Bills and Chiefs. It's the obvious choice,
Mhm.
but it really was a pretty good game. So I'm not mad at using it as game of the week.
True. Yeah. Obviously, when these two teams face each other, there's huge excitement with both teams playing each other.
Yeah, it's one of those like QB rivalries that always performs well.
Mhm.
So I was pretty happy to see that it went fairly well this time. It was 28-21 as a final score, and so it wasn't a shootout. Both teams actually had a good defense, which I thought was interesting for
Mhm.
Buffalo. But it was good. It was a really good game. And I'm happy that Josh Allen is back to Josh Allen since I've deleted the photo from things.
Yeah.
So that's another nice little coincidence of the jinxing powers at work.
Mhm.
And then regret of the week, I will go ahead and defer to you. You can take this one
Okay.
first.
My regret there is trusting the Commanders to beat the Seahawks. How unfortunately I was wrong with that, and on top of that, Dan Quinn left Jane Daniels out a little longer, and that it pretty much tore his arm up there.
Yeah, it was a really brutal injury. Like, not the most gruesome of injuries that I've ever seen, but it was definitely bad. Um,
Yeah.
and very questionable. I think that Commanders fans have every right to be wondering why he was still out there when they were down by what, like 33 or something, 33, 34.
Mm-hmm.
So there was really no hope of winning that game at that point, but you left your star player who has an injury history this season anyway
Mm-hmm.
out there. So strange decision, but it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year he can come back stronger and we're not having like an RG3 situation because I mean at least it's not on his throwing side, so he might have a better shot at rehab for that one. And it's just a dislocated elbow, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
like he broke his leg in 3 places or something. So
True. True.
for
Yeah.
me, my regret of the week, it was one of 2 different games, and I just decided to lean into my fandom a little bit, and it's not trusting the trap game that I was feeling with the Lions and the Vikings.
Yeah.
I even said during our episode that this game is a trap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic trap game because Detroit is at home, coming off of their bye, right after they gave a star player a massive extension. And JJ McCarthy is coming back to Michigan where he's undefeated. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, now he remains undefeated. Um, so it was like the perfect storm. As Dan Campbell said, they did everything that they could in their power to lose that game, made
Mm-hmm.
every error they could, and they ended up actually losing that. I should have known
Mm-hmm.
that was the case. The turning
Sure.
point of that game was the blocked field goal. So once again, special teams coming into play and being very important was certainly something.
That makes sense to me. Yeah. All your
Yeah, it's weird to have the Lions as a regret, but considering I did know that's what was going to happen, and I just let my fanhood get in the way.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was definitely regrettable. One of my losses was definitely
Yeah.
preventable on that one.
Yeah.
So now for the honorable mentions, we got a slew of them. So we have first up Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals finally putting it together on the offense. Having Jacoby Brissett under center instead of Kyler Murray has
Mm-hmm.
seemed to help them out a lot. I know Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride are very happy about that.
Exactly.
And Kyler Murray has been placed on the IR and
Mm-hmm.
will miss the next 4 weeks now. So I think they're just trying to ride Jacoby Brissett a little bit and kind of see where he can take them.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I'm not mad with it. I would have personally traded Kyler Murray for a boatload of picks to somebody like the Jets, who just got a boatload of picks for all of their trades that they did. You could have
Sure.
gotten a good first out of it, and the Jets need a quarterback. You need the picks for the future. It
Mm-hmm.
would have been perfect, but unfortunately, they missed that trade deadline, and now they're going to be stuck with them for a while.
Yeah.
Next, we've got the Raiders going for the W in overtime, so that we sadly do not get a second tie of the season just yet. I understand why. I really do. They wanted to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a tie would have been more helpful because it would have given you that same morale boost as a win when you beat
Yeah.
one of the AFC's top teams in Jacksonville, which is a weird thing to say for this year.
Yeah.
But John had a good point. If you go back to the 2022 Lions, after they tied the Steelers,
Mm-hmm.
they started kind of winning again because they had better morale, they had more confidence, they had a boost of like, we got this, right? So I think
Mm-hmm.
that would have been a better option
Yeah.
than trying to win it, but I understand trying to be gutsy. What I
Yeah.
don't understand is why you would choose to throw it on the goal line again, Pete, when you have Ashton Genty and you could have ran it in from there for the 2 point conversion and got the win.
True. Yeah.
Um,
Or either that or that their receiver you got there, and then you on Tuesday trade him to your opponents, the Jags.
yeah, yeah. Although it happened after the Jags game, which is interesting. That was good. So
Mm-hmm.
they didn't trade him to the Jags before they played them. That would have just been horrible. They
Yeah.
traded him to the Jags after they played him,
Yeah.
which is good.
Exactly.
Good for both teams, honestly, because they get good picks.
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby Myers gets to go to a team that's actually winning. He
Mm-hmm.
gets to take some good snaps since Brian Thomas Jr. and I think Brenton Strange is still hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good for him. He's in a much
Mm-hmm.
better situation now.
Yeah.
But
It's a win-win for both teams.
exactly, yeah. And then next is just a quick little honorable mention of the Broncos giving me anxiety. I thought for sure they were going to blow that game against Houston, but they came away with a win on that one, thankfully. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to miss the field goal. I actually left the room because Dad and I had the game playing, and I left the room so that I wouldn't watch it because I had a feeling if I was watching it, he was going to miss. So I left,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
thankfully he did not miss.
Yeah.
But that game was a
Yes,
really
sir.
good defensive game, which is kind of
Yeah.
my favorite type of football,
True.
which is the exact opposite of our last honorable mention of the Bengals and the Bears, who for some reason just could not decide who didn't want to win the game more.
Yeah. these are two teams that are pretty much average in our books there.
The Bengals would be a good team if they had any semblance of a defense and an offensive line.
Yeah,
Like they would be a really good team, and I'm so sad that their defense is so bad.
sure.
The Bears, I couldn't care less that they don't have a defense. I'm very happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they're able to score quite well, even though it was against one of the worst, if not the worst, defenses in the league.
Sure.
It was a shootout game, which everyone was like, oh my God, this is game of the week, best game ever. No, I didn't really like it. Not just because it's the Bears, but it's 47-42. No defense is to be found, and I would prefer to watch a really good defensive battle.
Gotcha.
All right, so are you ready to roll on into week 10 then, now that our recap is over?
Absolutely. And we'll start with week 10 with our usual bye week teams. Of course, the first up we have the Bengals, as you discussed there, of their huge loss to the Bears there.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we have the Cowboys, first losing to Arizona, but then Jerry Jones made a big splash in the trade market, acquiring a couple of defensive players.
Yeah, like you couldn't have done that a week ago when you actually would have needed them for the games. But okay. Yeah, let's do it on our bye week, Jerry. That's a really, really good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Back to the drawing board for their defense, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least they'll have an extra week to kind of get acclimated to the team. So maybe it was smart. Maybe he's playing 4D chess and I just didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
No.
Yeah. And then we have the Chiefs coming off their close game against the Bills there, as we discussed there.
Yep, that was a good game, and they are going to get some good rest at a very good time.
Yeah. And last but not least is the Titans, who are pretty much bottom of the barrel right now.
Yeah, one of the worst teams in the league, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, first game up for week 10 is another one of those worst teams in the league, and we have the Raiders going to the Broncos.
Yeah, obviously, the Raiders they play a good game there. It's just they blew it at the last play there in overtime there.
Yeah, they really did. Like, I don't know. Gino was a problem. Tyler Lockett, who he has so much chemistry and history with from the Seattle days, was wide open in the back of the end zone on that 2-point conversion, and you just didn't even bother looking his way.
Mm-hmm.
I question Gino. I do not understand what he's doing this season, but I know that the Raiders are going to need a quarterback next year.
Yeah.
And I don't know who they're going to be able to grab, but I'm sure they'll be fine, and they'll find somebody.
Either trade for one or find a special one in the draft there.
I mean, maybe. Like, I don't really follow college closely enough to know exactly who would be available outside of Arch Manning, who has not been looking that great. So I don't know if you'd really want to take a shot at that. I think trading for one might be a better option, but I don't even know who you would get.
Sure.
I mean, you could always call Atlanta. Kirk Cousins is available forever. Yeah, just
sure.
Always available. Just go get him.
Yeah. And obviously with the Broncos, they're doing Broncos things right now. They're are they by the Texans there on Sunday.
They are giving me single-handedly giving me anxiety every week. Like, I don't have enough to go through watching like Detroit games and my 2 gimmicks of the season that I'm doing for pickems. Like, it's stressful enough. I don't need the Broncos to also be doing this to me.
Yeah.
Like, I would like for them to just play well. Like, could we just have the Broncos team that we've faced the Cowboys with every week?
Yeah, sure.
That would be great.
Sure. For me this week, that's one's a no-brainer to me. I'm taking the Broncos at home to demolish the Raiders.
I 100% In agreement. And Broncos, I swear, if you give me anxiety again, I will never forgive you for this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
No.
I'm truly trusting in you. Please do
Yeah.
not give me anxiety again.
Yeah. Please, Bo Nix, make her anxiety go away.
I hmm, never mind. I was gonna say some things and I shouldn't say them. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
exactly what Steve said.
Mm-hmm.
You can make my anxiety go away.
Yeah.
Moving on, we go to Germany now because we're back to doing our overseas games, and we have the Falcons and the Colts.
Yeah. Obviously, with the Colts, the big story is that they were the big winners at the trade deadline, getting Sauce Gardner for their defense there.
That was huge, but I question how much they gave up. They gave up 2 firsts and a player. Now, I know that A.D. Mitchell wasn't exactly somebody they were using a lot of on that offense, so I can understand moving him,
Mm-hmm.
but 2 firsts,
Yeah.
that hurt me a little bit. I don't care if it's Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
2 firsts did kind of hurt. Great for the
Yeah.
Jets. Good on you, but
Yeah.
whoa.
Must be going all in there. Obviously, earlier in the season, going with Indiana Jones, and he he's doing well for them there. And of course, their Jonathan Taylor, their MVP, is rushing to the end zone there at excellent speed.
Yeah, the best running back in the league at the moment, and I'm very happy that he's kind of back on top again. Um, Last week was really interesting for them. It kind of felt like they regressed for that particular game, but at the same time, I do think it was just that the Steelers were mad about their previous week and they came out guns blazing on that defense and wrecked house. So
Yeah, sure.
I took a shot on that game and I was actually right. That was such a good split for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that the Steelers actually did a thing and didn't
Mm-hmm.
let me down.
Yeah.
But for this game, I am going to go ahead and take the Colts in Germany just because I think they're going to bounce back easily after facing the Falcons because
Yeah.
it's the Falcons. So,
Yeah. Exactly. 100% agree with you. So please, Indiana Jones, don't let us down there.
yeah, honestly, if you start to have an end of season collapse and kind of show who you always were in New York and kind of go against everything that I said about how you could be a good QB if you just had a good team around you, which New York never really gave you,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be a little sad. I'll be happy I called it,
Yeah.
but I'll be a little sad
Yeah.
for Jonathan Taylor's sake.
Yeah.
All right, now we come back stateside for game 3 of the week with, well, ironically enough, the Giants and Chicago.
Yeah. These two teams there are kind of Jekyll and Hyde teams right now. There, my
Like, you
opinion.
don't really know which version you're going to get from week to week.
Exactly there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially with the Bears.
tell me about it. I never know what to expect with the Bears,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
except that, death, taxes, and Bears gonna bear. That's just
Yeah.
what they do.
Sure. And obviously with the Giants, their injuries to their receivers there is showing their rust there right now.
Yeah, them still missing Malik Neighbors does hurt. They do have a couple of other uh, fairly good receivers, I would think. Like they're not
Yeah.
standouts by any means, but they're
Yeah.
they're good enough to get the job done. I think
Yeah.
they just
Him,
need more chemistry with
him,
Jackson Dart.
yeah. Him and Scadaboo being done for the season there pretty much went make the team go downhill fast.
Yeah, I think what it was is Scadaboo getting hurt kind of sucked the life and the joy, no pun intended, out of the team.
Yeah.
So I do think that that's going to hurt, but he's already wheeling around in the facility apparently, so
Yeah.
he's going
Sure.
to still be good for morale.
Yeah.
I will say though, from the running backs perspective, this is probably
Mm-hmm.
a hot take, just me, But I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what Singletary will do.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was last year. I started Singletary in my dynasty league on Sleeper, and he
Mhm.
actually did surprisingly well for me a lot of those weeks. So I don't think that
Give
he's a
you a lot of
bad running
points.
back. Well, not like a lot, but he helped keep me in the game a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I ended up winning that league last year, so he was definitely integral in helping me along the way. If my memory serves, I'm pretty sure he was one of my starting rotation.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't talk about my dynasty league this year. It's not going well. So
Yeah. So for me this week, there, I think we're going to have a split because I went with the Bears at home to beat the Giants.
yeah, we do have a split because we are 10 weeks into this season, and I have yet to waver from my pact that I made with World of Isaac when he passed. I said that I was going to go against the Bears every single week, and
Mm-hmm.
that is exactly what I'm doing. So F the Bears today, F the Bears tomorrow, and F the Bears forever.
Okay. That's,
All right. Game 4, standard squash match. We
mm-hmm.
have the Bills and the Dolphins.
Yeah. What else can you say there? I'm just hoping the Bills there would will improve their offense there than they did last week there against the Chiefs there.
Well, I mean, I think that considering they're playing Miami,
Mm-hmm.
who traded one of their better defensive players to Philadelphia, because of course they did, it's
Mm-hmm.
always the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think that the Bills are going to have a much easier time
Yeah.
moving the
Sure.
ball and actually producing. But I am going to test a theory.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, the man that you are.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how the game goes, but we're both 100% going with the Bills.
Obviously.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing new to say on that one. Moving on now quickly to game 5, we have what could be a good one with the Ravens and the Vikings. Battle of the Purple.
True. They're obviously the Ravens. They proved their defense a little bit at the deadline there.
A little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And obviously the Viking never count the Vikings with J.J. McCarthy at the helm.
You know, I think now that they're not going to be in Michigan, I might count him out on this week.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that, like I said, last week was definitely a trap game. They were primed to win. It was the perfect storm. Everything was going to go their way.
True.
Um, this week, I don't know how their defense is going to fare against the Ravens, who hopefully will remember that their run game exists more than Detroit did.
Yeah. Obviously with Derrick Henry there and Lamar Jackson there.
Exactly. So having Lamar Jackson back, they should have a much better run game
Mm-hmm.
than weeks past. So, me personally, I am going to go with the Ravens on the road, just
Yeah.
because I think that the Vikings' momentum after beating Detroit might falter a little bit. I don't see
Yeah.
them continuing to win.
Yeah. I agree with you there. I'm taking the Ravens on the road to beat the Vikings there. With apologies to all Viking fans out there.
Yeah, you can skull another day. Just
Mm-hmm.
just not against the Ravens this week.
Yeah.
All right. Game 6, we have the wow, the Browns and the Jets.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into the actual analysis, if we're even able to analyze this thing, I will
Mm-hmm.
have to preface my pick here and say that I made the pick prior to the trade deadline because I made my picks on Monday when somebody
Yeah.
sent me theirs. It's like, all right, I'll be fair and I'll make my picks the same day that they did.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if things go poorly, that is going to be my reasoning for
True.
that.
Yeah. Obviously, the Jets there trained Sauce Gardner and the other defensive player to the Cowboys there,
Yep, Quinnen Williams, defensive
Quinton
line.
Williams. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So obviously they got some picks there to use to build for next year. There.
Right, which I am extremely excited for. I don't know if they're going to use them to go get a quarterback in the offseason, like as a trade, or if they're going to try to draft and develop under a new regime with Aaron Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
that I trust Aaron Glenn. I don't trust Woody Johnson. I don't really trust the GM, but I do trust in Aaron Glenn. And so
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited for the Jets' future with all these picks. No idea what they're going to really do with them, but you need offensive line, you need a quarterback,
true.
and a couple more pieces on defense now that you traded away your only real defensive star. So you're going to
Mm-hmm.
need to do something to build that back up. And then Cleveland, I don't recall them doing a whole lot come the trade deadline, but they're going to definitely need to improve on the offensive side of the ball as well in the offseason.
Exactly.
So I'm expecting this to be once again a defensive battle. And unfortunately for me, that means that Cleveland's defense will take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I went with the Jets because I went with the Jets prior to them trading their two defensive players away. And
True.
unfortunately, once I write it in the book, it's written and I can't really change
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah. It's it's final judgment there, basically.
yeah.
Yeah. But you might be shocked to hear this, but I agreed with you there. I took the Jets at home to beat the Browns there.
Okay. So, what was your reasoning? Because my reasoning was just
Yeah.
I didn't wait.
Yeah, it's because before the bye there, they won that huge game in Cincinnati
True.
and they that could be a little bit of a momentum changer for them, and could uh, could take them out of the basement there and finish in a respectable season there.
I mean, possibly. It would be funny if the after all of this, the Dolphins are in the basement of the division and not the Jets.
Yeah,
That'd be funny.
yeah,
Now, you do have a point. I could easily see the Jets maybe doing what uh, the Broncos did when they did the New York sweep.
yeah, true.
I can see the Jets having the Ohio sweep.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be really fun. So let's just call it that. That's a really good way of doing it.
Exactly.
All right. Game 7. I'm looking forward to this one. We have the Patriots and the Bucks.
Yeah, or as I call this, the Brady Bowl.
The Brady Bowl. I wonder who he would pick.
Yeah, somebody relay this message to him. We, we
Tag
wouldn't
him.
mind hearing his
Clip
opinion.
this. Clip this and tag Brady on Twitter asking him what he picks in this game because I want to know. That's
Yeah,
definitely going to happen.
yeah,
Please don't actually do that. I have a problem with people tagging celebs and athletes and stuff
well,
under my stuff.
yeah,
Please don't do that.
oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Because obviously, these are two good quarterbacks, and Drake May and Baker Mayfield, in my opinion.
100%. This is going to be a really good quarterback battle. I'm excited for that one because you've got Baker Mayfield who is very gritty. He's a dog, right? He's working with whatever he's got and somehow makes it work. And
Mm-hmm.
then you've got this like really polished pro in Drake May.
Yeah,
So it's kind of a duality,
yeah,
but it's gonna be fun either way.
yeah, true. But for me this week, I'm going to go with the Bucks at home to beat the Patriots.
Yep, I agree with you. Unfortunately, I did want to go with it's gonna be May, but I think that they made it incredibly close against the Falcons, and I just cannot trust that.
Yeah,
And
I
the
just
Bucks are coming off of their bye, and the Bucks are at home, so it's just like
true.
everything's leaning
Yeah,
towards Tampa. So
yeah. Only problem with the Bucks this week is both their wide receivers are still little hurt right now.
exactly, yeah. So again, Baker Mayfield's going to have to make do with whatever he's got and make it work, which
So,
he's been used to doing pretty much the entire season so far.
mm-hmm.
So we'll see, but I will say this will be a good test for Tampa to see how they can measure up against actually really good teams.
But
So we shall see how they do. All right, next up, we've got game 8, and it is the Saints and the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, this one is a bottom of the barrel game in our opinion. There, even though Carolina's been doing a lot better than we expected them to be.
Yeah, the Panthers are still kind of an alternately good team for me. And I was going to say,
Mm-hmm.
you say it's bottom of the barrel, but the Panthers just beat the Packers and made me extremely happy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Panthers just out of sheer gratitude
Mm-hmm.
for them defeating the Packers in Green Bay and embarrassing them 16-13
Yeah.
and making my week.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you there, and I'm taking the Panthers as well.
Yeah, like I do feel bad for New Orleans, especially because they just traded away their best wide receiver to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be
I'm
without
sure,
that.
I'm sure
Yeah.
John will be happy about that.
Yeah, John was happy and Troll was upset. I got both sides of the coin on that one. John got, he was happy that they got a receiver. He was confused why New Orleans would trade their best receiver. And when I
Mm-hmm.
asked Troll about it, he said to burn it all down because they got rid of his boy. So he's none too pleased with New Orleans right now. But once a fan, always a fan. I understand how that goes. All right. So now we have game 9, which is AFC's South matchup, Jags and Texans.
Yeah, obviously the story with the Texans is no C.J. Stroud at quarterback there. He's out with a concussion right now.
Yep, because of the hit that he took, which was now everyone is kind of comparing it to what happened to Trevor Lawrence last season, and
Mm-hmm.
a bit of like poetic justice in a way for some people.
Sure.
I kind of watched the hit, and it didn't seem to be nearly as brutal as what happened to Trevor Lawrence. I think that Denver did try to pull up a little bit. He didn't like come full on in front of him. It was more
Yeah.
of like on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was still a bad hit. It was still not good to see him taken out. But the fact
Yeah.
that the Texans were able to hold their own against the Broncos defense like that with Mills at QB
Yeah.
and their offensive line that is not at all good,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
that was pretty impressive, I will say.
Yeah. And obviously, as we discussed there, the Jags there coming off a win barely there, and on top of that, they're got a little better at the trade deadline with the wide receiver core.
Yep. Yep. Bringing in Jacoby Myers should help a lot. And I'm happy that he's going to be on a better team now for my fantasy sake because he's one of my starters. So
Mm-hmm.
that makes me happy. Um, so who do you have for this one? It's a good defensive matchup. Anything can happen in these.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with my specialty on this, the 3 pointer less rule, and I'm taking the Jags on the road to beat the Texans.
All right, I am in agreement with you. I'm not sure about the score being close, but I wouldn't be surprised because the Jags do seem to enjoy the good heart attack game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it goes. I do think the score is going to be a little bit more spread out than we would like, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Houston's defense keeps them in the game. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we shall see. But speaking of the former Jaguar, or not former Jaguar, former Saint from earlier,
Mm-hmm.
we have the Seahawks hosting their division rival Cardinals.
Yeah, this is a big divisional rivalry game, in my opinion. There.
I mean, it would be if the Cardinals weren't kind of dumb early on in the season.
Yeah, yeah. But Jacoby Brissett surprised a lot of people, especially on Monday night when they beat the Cowboys there.
Yeah, they kind of dominated the Cowboys, to be fair. They won by 10, so it was
Mm-hmm.
definitely good to see Jacoby Brissett. And I loved how humble he was at the end when they were asking him about how the offense is working so much better with him. And he was just like all credit to the offense itself and didn't take any credit on his own. I thought that was very nice and a good show for a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sure.
but they are going to have a lot tougher of a time with Seattle because Seattle has one of the best defenses, and you're not facing Dallas anymore, who just lets everybody do whatever they want.
True. True. So, in my opinion, I'm going to go with the Seahawks at home to beat the Cardinals.
I agree. I don't see a world in which the Cardinals pull this off unless there's some NFC West division shenanigans going on. But Seattle should have this one on lock. They've got a much better team, a good defense, an upgraded receiver room now. So
True.
I'm excited to see what they can do.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, moving right on along, we have game 11, which is a big one. Staying in the NFC West, we have the Rams and the 49ers.
This is a big divisional rivalry game here.
Once again.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, the Rams, they're holding their own right now this season there.
They're doing very well. Me and Draz were talking recently about the Rams season and how Matt Stafford's having kind of MVP caliber stats.
Yeah.
And how mad SDS was that we both said that the Rams were going to be really good this year. And it turns out that they're actually being pretty good this year.
Yeah.
So we were both high on the Rams early on. So to see them kind of doing really good things, unfortunately for John, is pretty fun to see.
Yeah.
I am concerned about like the division cannibalism that they've had recently. So them facing the 49ers is going to be rough.
Yeah.
But I think the 49ers have enough in the way of injuries that the Rams should have this one, although there were reports that Brock Purdy might be back, which I don't know if that's a good idea, and you don't want to kill your momentum with Mac Jones being the hot hand right now. But
true.
I don't know. So who do you have?
I'm going to go with the Rams on the road to beat the Niners there.
All right. I am in agreement for better or worse here. I'm going to trust in the Rams and what they're doing. I think that they're just such a good team this year, and hopefully they can kind of kick out of the NFC West circle with a pretty banged up Niners team.
Yeah.
All right. And then next, it's the revenge of the NFC Championship when we have the Lions and the Commanders.
Yeah. Obviously, with the Commanders, they're the injury-prone Jade Daniels being benched again there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not been benched. He's literally unable to do anything. Like, he's hurt and out for the season. So, I will say Marcus Mariota is not a bad option at QB for them this year. But I do think that their season is it's not going to get any easier or any better for them.
No.
And that does remind me, thank you, I need to remove Jaden Daniels off of my team in the league that I'm in with SDS and Draz, because he's one of my quarterbacks, and not fun.
Yeah. So you'll have to pick up another quarterback off the waiver wire.
No, I have, unfortunately, my team has Jared Goff and Bo Nix. So I don't know if I really want to trust in Bo Nix and risk my jinxing powers coming into play when he's facing the Raiders, or if I want to ride with Goff and risk that jinxing power coming in when he's facing the Commanders defense. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I really have to think about that hard before the week starts.
Okay. Food for thought.
Definitely.
And obviously, the Lions need a bounce back game out there. They're a huge loss to the Vikings there.
They do. And unfortunately, they always tend to play mad or play angry, as people say, after a loss. And I think that that's what's going to happen here. Unfortunately, though, they do have a lot of injury. Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, and Christian Mahogany, I think, for the offensive line are questionable, not really sure if they're going to play. And then they have the same defense injuries. Kirby Joseph is still listed as questionable. So it could be a very long game for them if their offensive line is not good to go. So that is a concern.
Yeah. For me, this week, I'm going to go with the Lions on the road to beat the Commanders.
Yep, I agree with you, but I do feel, again, like this could be a problem for Detroit just because of all their injuries piling up. And it's going to be very similar to what happened in the NFC Championship game, where the Commanders did win because of Detroit's injuries and lack of explosive play calling, forgetting their identity, which is what Detroit seems to be wanting to do as of late this season. They've forgotten what made
Mm-hmm.
them under John Morton, so hopefully they can kind of get back to being themselves a little bit here.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so now we have the Sunday night game, which should be another good one. We have the Steelers and the Chargers. The Chargers lost Joe Alt for the season, but
Mm-hmm.
they did trade for an offensive lineman before the trade deadline to kind of fix that problem, or at least do something about the
Yeah.
problem. So at least they're doing
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. They have problems at offensive tackle because of injuries there.
Right, exactly. But they traded for one, is what I was saying. They traded for an offensive tackle
Yeah.
to take the place of Joe Alt. So at least they did
Yeah.
something quickly to fix the problem that they
Mm-hmm.
had with injury.
Yeah. Hopefully that will help them there. But obviously the Steelers coming off their huge win against the Colts.
Yeah.
I I don't know how you did it, Aaron Rodgers.
The defense making
Yeah.
Daniel Jones look bad and stuffing the
Yeah.
run.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
TJ
not going to
Watt,
say,
obviously.
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to say that it was all the defense because, of course, they put up 27 points. Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers did good, but I'm always going to credit their defense
Mm-hmm.
more than anything else.
Yeah. So you're expecting this week to be in the defensive battle?
I'm not really sure actually because like both defenses are good,
Mm-hmm.
but both offenses can produce pretty well too. So I think this is just going to be a good game in general
Mm-hmm.
because I like Justin Herbert with his weapons. I
Mm-hmm.
could definitely see him getting over on the Steelers, but vice versa, I could also see Aaron Rodgers doing vintage Rodgers things and using his weapons effectively and making the Chargers defense look silly.
Mm-hmm. True. So I think we're going to be in the split with this game because I went with the Steelers on the road to beat the Chargers.
Surprisingly, no. I also took the Steelers
Oh, okay.
against my better judgment because I do like the Chargers more,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm feeling really good about the Steelers this year. I think they are primed to do good things long term this season, and we'll just see how it goes. It's kind of funny that the decision to rock with Rodgers is working out very, very well.
Yeah. Surprising one.
Yeah, definitely surprisingly.
Yeah. It makes Mike Tomlin look like a genius right now.
It makes him look like a man who's very, very lucky that he is keeping his job this season.
Exactly.
He's a man who is happy that it's working out because now he doesn't have to leave Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
All right, so Monday Night Football, final game of the week, we have the Eagles and the Packers.
Yeah. To me, this has got to be game of the week material there.
Potentially. It all
Yeah.
depends on if both teams play down to
Mm-hmm.
the opponent because both teams are very, very good at doing that. The
Mm-hmm.
Eagles are still very inconsistent, and the
Exactly.
Packers are incredibly inconsistent.
Yeah. Yeah. Note to the Packers. Please don't wear those uniforms you wear last week. Your uniforms kind of look like Chicago Bears. There.
Yeah, but I mean that helped them play like them. So if
Mm-hmm.
you want to keep wearing your throwbacks for that and play like the Bears more often, who am I to say no?
I knew you would say something like that there.
I'm me. Of course I had to.
Yeah.
But I think, just kind of getting back to the game, I think that the Eagles have this one on lock because it's been kind of proven that if you run directly at Micah Parsons, he will move out the way
Mm-hmm.
because he's not one for confrontation and he doesn't like to get hit. He likes to
Yeah.
be the one doing the hitting. So if you run at him and you happen to have a very good running back who can do as much,
Yeah.
I think they have this. I think the run game is going to make the Packers look absolutely silly.
Yeah. It can be there. Yeah. But for me, I think I'm going to go with my specialty again there, the 3-pointer left rule there.
I
And
can
I'm
see
going to
that.
go for a little bit of a shocker there, and I'm taking the Packers at home to beat the Eagles.
You know, that would make me happy, but also kind of sad because the Packers would win, which makes me sad,
Mm-hmm.
but the Eagles would lose, which makes me kind of happy.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Eagles losing off of their bye and after fixing their defense a little bit
Mm-hmm.
through the trades, if they do all of that and they come off of their bye and they still lose to a team that also likes to play down to their opponents, who they have a much better roster than, it's going to be pretty funny. But
Exactly.
I will see you having the upset and raise you. What if they tie? What
Yeah.
if, hear me out, hear me out. What if the
Okay.
Packers tie with another NFC East team?
Yeah. That would cause chaos in the NFC North right now.
It would be so much chaos for the entire NFC conference.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it because it would ruin both of them. Because it would give the
Yeah.
Eagles a tie and Green Bay 2 ties. So the entire NFC would be flipped on its head.
Okay.
So I would love to see that. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. And I am going with the Eagles on the road because they're coming off of their bye. They're the better team. And FTP.
Okay. Yeah. So this week we have 2 splits there.
Okay, so we have another even split week. That's very good.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
All
So
right.
what all we can say is hope for the best there.
Yep, exactly. Hopefully,
Yeah.
all goes well. I'm really interested to see how many splits I'm going to end up having with John, considering he is
Mm-hmm.
now 3 games ahead of me.
Sure.
Oh, Lord.
And speaking of John, let's find out how he thinks and the rest of our friends with their picks for the week.
Just for you guys, I am still waiting on one to come in, but he should be getting them to me soon, so I'll probably just have to pop it up without reading them out again. But we'll see how it goes. So, first up, if I can find them. There you go. All right, so first up, we have John, who took the Broncos, Colts, Giants, Bills, Ravens, Jets, Bucks, Panthers, Jags, Seahawks, Niners because of the NFC West circle, Lions, Chargers, and Eagles. And then we've got SDS, who took the Raiders, the Colts, Indiana Jones, and the Choking Pigeons. The
Like
Browns.
that analogy.
It's certainly a term, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then he went with the Browns. Have a fire sale, Jets. There's about to be a lot of them around NYC soon.
Mm-hmm.
Then he took the Panthers, the Bucks, asking if Jason Light, for once, cannot just sit and spin when it comes to trades. Because he and his team did nothing on the trade deadline, once again. And then we've got the Ravens, Bills, and Giants. The Jags saying that Trevor Lawrence is going to get some revenge for what the Texans did to him last season.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks, Lions, and 49ers. the Chargers, although he is so tempted to go with Mr. Rogers,
Mm-hmm.
and the Eagles to finish him off. And then we've got Buff, who took the Broncos, Colts, Browns, Panthers, Bucks, his Vikings, the Bills, Giants, Jags, Seahawks, Lions, Niners, Chargers, and Eagles. And then we've got Papa Agron. Broncos over Raiders, Colts over Falcons, Browns over the Jets, Panthers over Saints, Bucks over the Patriots, Ravens over Vikings, Bills over the Dolphins, Bears over Giants, Texans over the Jaguars, Seahawks over Cardinals, Lions over Commanders, Rams over the 49ers, Steelers over Chargers, and Packers over Eagles. So you have somebody on your side for that one.
Okay, finally.
Finally.
Thank you, Papa.
All right, and then there is Troll.
Oh, my buddy. I love his picks.
Troll went with the Raiders, the Falcons in a strange twist, the Giants, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Patriots, his Saints, even though he wants to burn them to the ground for trading Rashid Shaheed, the Texans, Cardinals, 49ers, and Commanders. On the Chargers and Steelers game, he said that it's too close to call, so give me whatever Steve doesn't go with.
So obviously he's going to go with the Chargers there because I went with the Steelers.
Yep. And then he went with the Eagles as well. So you've got one person so far on your side.
Okay.
Oh dear. All right, and then we move on over to Rev, who has the Broncos, Colts, Giants, Ravens, Browns, Bills, Saints, probably for Troll, the Jags, Bucks, Seahawks, Lions, Rams, Chargers, and Eagles.
Okay.
I'm sensing a theme here. All right, and then Beegers had a busy day. I had a busy day, so I didn't get in touch with him until it was way too late. So I will pop his picks up after he sends them to me, and then if not in time, I will go ahead and leave them in the comments, or Beegers himself can leave them in the comments if he would so choose to. I am so sorry, by the way, for like managing my podcast kind of incorrectly and not getting with people like the day before or on Monday. That's definitely on me. I need to get better about doing that because this happens routinely. So I'll get better at that. All right. Next, we've got Owl, who took the Raiders, Colts, Giants, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Saints, Patriots, Texans, Seahawks, 49ers, Lions, Chargers, and the Packers.
There, I got another one.
Yeah, you found another one somehow.
If the Eagles win, then you'll know what my regret of the week will be next week.
Yeah, definitely. Like I don't know if I really have a built-in regret right now, but we'll see how the week goes. I'm sure I'll be able to find one really quickly.
Exactly.
All right, next we've got Draz, who took the Broncos to beat the Raiders, Colts beat the Falcons, Jets beat the Browns, Panthers beat the Saints, Pats beat the Bucks, Vikings beat the Ravens, Bills beat the Dolphins, Bears beat Giants, Jags are going to beat the Texans, Seahawks beat the Cards, Lions beat Commanders, Rams are going to beat the 49ers, Steelers beat Chargers, and Packers beat Eagles. So you got another one.
There we go.
To be fair, it is the Packers and Aaron Rodgers fan, so him going for the Packers and the Steelers this week does not surprise me in the least.
Exactly.
All right, and then finally we have Alex Fay, who took the Broncos, Colts, Jets, Panthers, Patriots, Ravens, Bills, Bears, Texans, Seahawks, Lions, Niners, Chargers, and the Eagles.
Okay.
All right. Well,
there we go.
there we go. That is going to do it for week 10 of the NFL. There's a few games that are definitely going to be pretty tight, and I'm kind of concerned. It's just one of those weeks, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Sure.
a few games that could go either way.
Exactly. Yeah. For all our fans, please like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell for all of our future Pick'ems games here.
Yep. If you are unaware, we have on every Thursday at noon Eastern on YouTube. We upload this as a podcast, and then over on Spotify every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. The audio only version will be available over there. So
Sure.
either way that you want to get your podcasts, you are free
Yeah.
to do so.
Yeah. And thank you to all our fans there scrolling at the top of our screen there.
Yep. Richard, Sandra, Araceli, Linda, and BNet Transport videos. Much appreciated for the continuous and above and beyond support that you guys give. And if you would also like to see your name scrolling up above as well, you can go ahead and check out the Join tab and see if any of those perks are something that you would be interested in. Also, let me know if there are any perks that you would like to see added to the memberships, and I will see about getting those things done as well. And we will catch you guys next week for week 11 of the Pride and Joy Predictions podcast.
Thank you all. See you all next week.